Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Advanced Platformer series, and in this video we are going to begin the preparations for making our game worlds interactive, and we will be able to add different kinds of things like buttons and moving stuff and a lot of different stuff in our game. And I was originally planning on kind of making a system for to make our weapon, the gun, shoot, but I realized that there is really nothing in the scene to shoot at. So first let's go ahead and develop some interactivity, and shooting is something pretty basic. We can implement it later. For now you can see that we have got our gun here, and it seems to be quite nice, so we won't implement shooting yet, but we are going to implement stuff to make our player be able to interact with the environment in different ways. The very basic stuff is like pushing buttons and stuff, so let's start with that, but we are going to start with that in the next video. In this video we want to clean some stuff up a bit. Now you should realize that in our game we'll have non-player characters, NPCs. Now the problem with that is currently our movement script depends on input, and we are going to make it so that we have a separate player script and also a movement script which handles just general movement, and a player script which is going to allow us to actually determine what kind of stuff we want to do. So we are going to first of all open this up, and let's just open it up in Visual Studio. And once it has loaded everything, what we'll do is we'll remove all of the player specific stuff from the movement script. So you can see we have got input.get axis horizontal here, and also we have got input dot get axis. Well, actually we won't have that. We have input dot get button down jump. Now these two we have got, but we are not going to this is not how we would expect an NPC to jump. For an NPC we would like it to have it will do that using its AI. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure that we make these public variables that can be modified by another script. For that, let's go in here and create two public variables. So first is going to be a public float, which is going to be called let's just call it horizontal axis, for example. That's a pretty good name. And this is going to basically be the for our replacement for our input.get axis horizontal. So we are going to have that, and for this is going to be 0 by default, because by default we don't really have any horizontal movement. And what we'll do is we'll just copy this and replace this input.get axis by this whatever we have got here, so horizontal axis. Alright, that seems pretty awesome. And what we'll do is we'll also add another not a vertical axis, actually a boolean called jump, or let's just name it should jump. So we are going to name that should jump, and this is going to be by default false, because of course by default the player is not pressing any button, and by default the NPC is not doing any action. So we are going to go ahead and paste this here. Now that is going to basically make it like that. However, there is a slight problem, which is that we want to make these two hidden in inspector. So we're going to have to make it hide in inspector, because we don't want these public variables to be edited in the inspector. We want them to be edited when by like other scripts. So we are going to basically hide them in inspector so that they are not visible. And by default Unity makes every public variable visible inside of the inspector, so we'll need to add these two tags here. So if I save that, we should be able to compile it, and now our character will stop moving, actually, which is which you should expect to happen, considering that right now it basically now it's not dependent on any input. Now in order to actually get that done, we'll go ahead and add another script here. So right click and create a C# script which we are going to just call player. And the reason we are calling this player is because it's going to handle the majority of our player related tasks. So let's go ahead and open this up, and you can see we have got of course the different stuff here, but we'll remove this, and we'll remove this here as well. But we'll change the start method to the awake method, and the start is called only once in the lifetime, while this awake method is called whenever this script instance is reloaded. So we'll just use update here, and we'll use a private movement. Well, actually let's not do that in awake. Let's make that an inspector variable. The reason we'll do that is because that would make things more flexible. So we'll use a serialize field here, and a private movement, which is our own script that we just created. So we're going to have movement, and we're just going to call it movement. And what we'll do is in the update we'll say movement dot we should have our variable here. Let's just say should jump is equal to input dot get button down. So input dot get button down, and we are going to just like do it in that way, like we did before. We are going to rename this to jump, and that is pretty much all we need to do. Of course, we also need to set the horizontal axis, so we'll say movement dot horizontal axis. So horizontal axis, which we are going to set to input dot get axis, and the axis name is going to be, as you should probably be expecting, horizontal. And yeah, that's all we need to do. And if we ever add something else to our movement, like crouching or something, that I don't really plan on adding that, but if you want to, you can add that as well, and you can make that public field as well. So if I go under my player, you can see now the movement here I've got, and it is not going to move by default, but if I add my player, I'm going to assign this movement here, and now our movement should still work. So let's go ahead and do that, and you can see that, yeah, that works. So that we can kind of like move around, and it still works. And the reason behind that is, of course, that we have got our player script. This is the one that's taking the input, and this is handling movement. So everything is now clean and modular. So yeah, guys, this is pretty much it for this video. It was a short video, but in the next video it's going to be a really exciting one, because we are finally going to do some raycast and stuff to allow our player to interact with different environment objects. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with other people as well, and bye.